Good afternoon, everyone. This is Terry Kugler from Kugler Landscaping coming at you with the additional another review on the Toro TimeMasters. This one I've had about 4 to 6 months. I bought it May or June of 2022. It's now October the 17th, I believe. And been very happy with it since I fixed the gas tank issue as far as not running out of gas all the time, and I upgraded to the commercial pulleys. Really like the bags on it. The volume of that's good. The cut quality is I'd give it a 8 or 9 out of 10. Seems to bag the wet grass and leaves up pretty nicely. I don't use the mulching feature much. I just think that here in Ohio it clumps and creates a lot of issues. I mean, if you're only taking off an inch or two and it's dry, then it's good for that. But if you're here in Ohio, we get it's wet, it's tall most of the year, and you're cutting 3 to 6 inches off at a time, and you're doing it all hours of the day. So the mulching is to me not very good on it, but it does have that feature. It's 3-into-1 bags, mulch, and side discharges. So I really like that feature. So if it's really high and you can't bag it very good and you just want to let it fly, you can pick up that flap, and it comes with an attachment. So just going over a few things I might have left off on the other videos that I made. So like that. The mulching, like I said, so-so for various reasons I just mentioned. The side disc shoot, like that. It's a good feature, and you put a little, they come with a little reflector. Sometimes I just tie that flap open. It just lifts real easily. So very convenient to sometimes I just put a bungee around that and put it to the muffler. So very good. Got the commercial 1-gallon tank on it. Got a little PCV pipe to brace it there. I glued on. Bolted it on with 3 bolts. There's the 2 bolts with epoxy. It's up here mounted in this location. So you can kind of see it there. That's just some like caulking I have there, but the epoxy's holding up real well. It's fairly stable, hasn't come off in 6 months of use. So that solved the gas tank issue. Plus I'm not using the gas tank because now I have holes in it, but with the 1-gallon tank you don't need to, and that's their commercial off their commercial unit. Got the commercial pulleys under there, can't show you them, but they've been working great. Really love the personal pace. I like the volume of bags, so this works to me. This is the reason I bought this versus the commercial. A lot of people say, well, why did you buy the homeowner version when you could buy the commercial? And the main feature was the personal pace. I really like that. It's much more comfortable. I've owned both. This is easier. My wife finds it easier. I find it easier, much less fatiguing to operate. And this mower's lighter too by I think 20 pounds or so, which makes a big difference as well. So that's some of the features I wanted to throw out there. I'm always forgetting, not getting everything, so I like to make a couple, 2 or 3 videos about each product. So that's the reasons. Lighter, personal pace, like the quick wheel change. Everything's on the side here. One lever controls the front, and the rear lever, and they're both on the same side, control the height. They have little letters on there, ABC, so forth. So that's very convenient. I've had it, like I said, 6 months. Haven't had any real issues with it since I've fixed the problems that I, would have with it, which I did from the start with this. I didn't even ever run it with a stock tank. I had these 2 or 3 years ago, and plus there's a lot of information on the internet, so I was well aware of from personal experience plus others that the gas tanks and pulleys and transmissions are weak in them, which I've still not upgraded mine. So it holds a lot of leaves, and earlier here I was bagging this section here 4 passes, so I think that's around 6-7 feet wide. Cleaned it up pretty good because they're heavy today. You can see on the left and right, got quite a bit, and that was a bag full there. And I may start this up and show you a little bit more there. So if you have any questions or comments on everything, so yeah, everything else is held up. The motor seems to be very good, doesn't burn oil, plenty powerful. So I like Kawasaki and Honda motors better, but for Briggs & Stratton it's been pretty good. The oil stayed pretty clean. Changed it once. This is just my trim mower, so happy with that. This little blue handle here is just to give you additional leverage if you need it, to help pull, because this is when you push on this lever here, it lets it drive, and the harder you push, the more drive you get out of it. So some of the things I've been unhappy with are, as I mentioned in the other video, there's a little bar there. As you can see, it's really close to the ground. I know it's to protect the deck, but that gets hung up on stuff all the time, every yard. So I'd like to cut that off. It catches on roots and curbs and cement, and just very aggravating. So don't like that. Wish the transmission was better from the factory. I'm going to try to put the commercial one on it. So here's my other unit. I bought 2 of them, fixed them up identical. So bigger tank, cleaner here, because that's really only been used in the yard here. That's the one I've been taking to work. I am a commercial guy, but I am solo. So this is identical, just cleaner and newer. And starts first, second pull, 3 at the most. Usually it's the first to second or third. So it does not always start guaranteed to start. I guess it does start, but it takes a pull or 2 usually. Just depends. If it's warmed up, 1 pull. If it's cold, maybe a couple. So 3 at the most. So yeah, other than that, I think it's a time saver with the bigger tank. You don't have to stop and run back and grab more gas, which I kind of laughed because it was the TimeMaster, but every time you got out, like on my property, I got a half-acre property, and you couldn't get halfway through without, having to go back. And it's a 160-pound mower, and you would have to go back and get the gas tank, or push this back to get the gas tank, or carry the gas tank back. So you've lost 10-15 minutes or whatever it takes for you to do that in productivity. So it doesn't make much sense to have that ridiculously small gas tank with a little blue foam, which also eats up more volume in your tank. So I take that out, but the gas tank is the fix. So this is all off the commercial, the bracket, the tank, everything, the lid. That's get it from the commercial unit, have the parts guy look that up. I epoxied and bolted it on with 3 bolts and epoxy. It's stayed on, and put a little PCV pipe there. You can see I cut that just to support the back end so it doesn't shake very much. I think that's a necessary thing, and then you can still use the unit. The other thing I really like is to be able to fold the handle up, which I don't think the commercial, can't remember if that works, but you push on that blue lever and you can fold the handle all the way down or 90 degrees up. I would do it, but I'm one-handed here, which I think is a real saving if you need room in your trailer or in the shop. You don't have to have the handle down, so that's a nice feature. So That's another reason why I bought the homeowner version. Lighter, personal pace, lever folds, and so I think overall it's a better unit, especially with the upgrades that I've done. Well, I'll demo this real quick, and I'm going to try to bag up a little bit of the leaves here on the left. Show you that real quick. Doing this one beat. So that's almost a bag full there. So yeah, so you can kind of see what it did there. I just bagged up that. I didn't get around the tree because it's hard to do. But I wanted to show you how tall the grass is here. Cut an inch or two off the grass, plus bagged up all them leaves. So 2 bags, and I got a swath through the yard about 12 feet or so, 12, 13 feet wide. So does a nice job. I use it a lot in the fall for doing exactly what I just showed you there, bagging up the leaves. I blow primarily, especially when it's this heavy. But if you're around a pool, small area, and you don't have a lot of leaves, and you're trying to do it commercially, it's good. You know, I use this for them small situations and stuff. But if I'm blowing a bunch of this, like here, I would just blow this into the woods with my blowers. But yeah, it's a good unit. It is a time saver, TimeMaster now. The name suits it with the upgrades. And with them upgrades, I definitely would recommend the unit. Like to see Toro step up and do that from the plate. Take that little metal bar off that hangs up on everything under the deck. Come from the factory with a large tank and the upgraded pulleys. I think the tank was about $100 roughly. Maybe a little bit more. The pulleys were also, I think, around $125 or something, 125, 150. So $250 in addition to the $1,500 or so that I paid for the motor, the unit, each unit. So now we're looking at $1,600, $1,700 per unit. Still less the commercial, but I think again, with the features of the personal pace and the lighter weight, I think it's worth it, and that's where I'd spend my money again, and highly recommend it if you go that route and do some of them upgrades. You got to kind of do it yourself. But the way it sets, stock from the factory, I'd call it a 4 or 5 out of the box, in my opinion. Professional landscaper solo, 41 years in the business. As you see it sit today, I'd call it an 8 or 9. Of the transmission was good from the factory, and a commercial unit, I'd probably give it a 9 or 10 out of 10. So that's my time and review on the Toro TimeMaster 30-inch mower. I'll have to make sure I mention that in the thing. This is for those that don't know what the TimeMaster is, it's Toro's 30-inch mower, so that's important to say. So that's my time. Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.